Mercedes have been totally dominated Formula 1 championships for the whole past 8 years. Team were unable to catch Mercedes driver. No one actually could do. Well, nothing actually lasts forever. Mercedes wasn't capable to win a single race this year. Ferrari started leading the championship at the beginning, but Red Bull fast took the first position and could keep it until now, and statistically will be able to maintain it to the end of the season. The whole Formula 1 community waited for a surprising comeback from the Brackley squad. However, the team was struggling and this was too evident. Even with the car upgrades they kept introducing, things weren't actually changing in the very good direction. It was more like weak and slow for what Silver Arrows used to show. Mercedes fans didn't lose hope and believed in their team until that point where it was obvious they will never be capable to win this season's title. New regulation didn't clearly fit Wolff's team, who declared being officially out of the title competition and have chosen to race for the P2. Now, with only 6 races remaining and with the coming strong Singapore Grand Prix, are Mercedes actually bringing some new changes to fight for that P2? Keep on watching, let's find out. In a recent interview, Mike Elliott, the technical director at Mercedes, said that his team might be focusing on the coming season more than it is for the remaining races of the season. Elliott finds that a P2 is a good thing to finish one of the toughest seasons for Mercedes during the last decade, but focusing on it must be in a second position after the changes they are working on for the coming season for a real comeback. Elliott set the next season as a priority and believes the whole team, especially Lewis Hamilton, have to make it up after what he called the worst season they had ever. We want to try to fight Ferrari for this P2 position. We want to try a win race this season, or several races ideally. And above all, we want to get back on track in order to fight properly for the championship next year. It's no disrespect to our competitors. We have fantastic opposition. But it's what we really need to do. We want to be back and we want to fight for the championships. Talking about the next competition in Singapore, Mike Elliott qualifies the circuit as one of the circuits suitable for them, similar in terms of its nature and corners to Budapest and Zandvoort. He hopes they will learn from their mistakes in these previous races to improve in Singapore. When you look back, the learning we have from the season, I think we can expect Singapore to be a bit more like what we saw in Budapest and Zandvoort. It's a bumpy circuit, which will bring its share of challenges. But in terms of the nature of the corners, slow corners, we think it will be a bit better for our car. As always, we'll do the pre-simulation work we need to do and maximize our learning in the free practice sessions, and hopefully we can turn that into a good result. Having a recent experience in similar circuits, Elliott considers the coming race in the Marina-based series circuit at Singapore. It is a new chance to understand more the car's concept and whether they got to solve the apparent issues in both Budapest and Zandvoort. Elliott confirmed changes made to the W13 to fix some details to fit more the circuit. He also talked about a hard pre-simulating work and a lot of learning in order to avoid errors that costed them a better position, and why not a win during the Hungarian Grand Prix and the Netherlands Grand Prix. Elliott also focused on the importance of analyzing the free practice sessions to be more efficient the day of the race. We've had some good races, and we've had some not good races, but I think what's really encouraging is the understanding that comes from the simulation and the work we're doing, and the understanding that comes from the wind tunnel. It allows us to work out why our performance is going up and down, what we need to get back into the fight at the front, and what we need to do over the winter. I think those are the key elements. A real issue Mercedes have been struggling from this season that Formula 1 analysts talked about in different occasions was being slow on straight, which was related to the narrow side pods. The trackside engineering director at Mercedes, Andrew Shovlin, confirmed that side pods concept Ferrari and Red Bull are using turned out to be more efficient, and he didn't exclude using it in the coming car version, the W14. So it's not hopeless, but compared to the teams that already have the concept in use, like Ferrari and Red Bull, they obviously have small disadvantages. Many Formula 1 experts admitted that Red Bull's 2022 concept is the most successful one. Mark Schurer, the former Formula 1 driver and actual Formula 1 TV analyst and commentator, finds that Mercedes weren't performing very well with a very narrow side pods concept, which he thinks they will put aside for the coming season to be focusing more on a similar concept as Red Bull or something new. Can this make Mercedes better than Red Bull or better than this year's version? No one can actually know. Teams are trying and working hard inside the garage and aren't revealing every single detail for media. Mercedes did not build the perfect chassis this year. They will come next year with a Red Bull copy, at least in terms of concept, and they will be back. The side pod concept wasn't the only issue Mercedes would probably be changing. At the beginning of the season, with the new FIA regulations, teams weren't able to understand and manage the new concepts. But race after another, engineers start to understand better the importance of floors to have a performing car by using the aerodynamic concept in a more efficient way. George Russell, Mercedes' young talented driver, didn't exclude any option for the coming days and stated that real issues can be solved in short time. They have been working and they will be working to improve for the rest of the season and the coming seasons. I think we understand exactly why a circuit like Zandvoort and Budapest, why we were competitive, and we understand why a circuit like Monza and Spa, we were uncompetitive. That doesn't mean that we can solve the issues overnight, but we've got to keep on developing this car, and next year will be sort of an evolution of this, and I think now we do have a totally clear direction of how to develop the car. Russell admitted that sidepods were a special concept related to Mercedes. However, being unable to realize a great result with this design makes it necessary to add some changes, and why not introduce a whole new one? I think nothing's off the table. For sure we got a pretty unique design with the sidepods. It is not off the cars that will continue with that design, but it is equally not off the cars that will completely change philosophy. But ultimately, whether we have the wide sidepods or the narrow sidepods, that isn't the performance differentiator, there is more to it. The young Brighton described Ferrari's performance at Monza of surprising and confirmed that he with his team set the P2 as a new goal to achieve, and they will be working for it. What do you think, guys, about these changes Mercedes are intending to add in the coming occasions and for the next year? Do you think this will be changing a lot of things concerning their car's performance? Can really Mercedes go with the Red Bull's concept for next year? How do you see this decision? Tell us in the comment down below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more Formula 1 content. That was all for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. See you next time.